Tom, the big question, is Treylon Burks going to play? Now, I know there's speculation all over the place. Do you have an inside source on his status for the game on Saturday?
Well, I've heard some things, and I just don't think they want to push it and play him. But as Sam Pittman said yesterday, when I asked him, is he doing much? The answer to that is no, he's not doing much. But he is doing something from what I've heard. So perhaps he'll be a lot closer to game ready next week for Texas. I'm not saying that he's out for this game, but he hasn't practiced in a good while. Yeah. And when you haven't done that and you're 2 days out from a game, it's looking very slim that he would participate in the Rice game. And you want him to be, you want him to be close to full strength when you unleash him on the field.
Tom, he's obviously your All-American, the guy that is sent around your offense, but Ridgeway looks doubtful. Miles Slusher doesn't look like he's going to play. What are some other impactful injuries that fans need to know about heading into this Rice game?
Yeah, they caught a bit of bad luck on the injury deal in this camp, even though apparently none of them are season-ending, although when Sam Pittman mentioned that on his radio show last night, he used the clarifying words, per se. So I didn't know how to take that. But it's been a little bit of bad luck. Jalen Catalon, something happened to him with the shoulder in the first scrimmage, but he's been out there so much since then that you didn't feel like it was something super major. But as Clay Henry points out a lot, shoulders are just something DBs are going to have because you come up and you hit, especially if you're a hard hitter like he is, and it just happens sometimes. So basically your best offensive player in Treylon Burks, your best defensive player in Catalon have been dinged up, and then an impactful, a guy who can tie up two blockers and just be a real force on the inside, Ridgeway, doubtful for this game. That's bad injury luck. And Miles Slusher, kind of a versatile guy, not playing. I don't know what has happened with him. Yeah. So, a little bit of bad luck. You want to be at full strength. But honestly, you should have a talent gap with Rice, and you're at home, and you've instilled a lot of toughness principles in your team that you should be able to get past this game. Now, the 19-point margin, in my view, is a little bit high, because everything I've heard from Rice is they're just going to be tough, and maybe this will be a lower scoring game, but we'll just see how it all plays out. But you did note last night on the radio when Sam Pittman was talking about the scattering of injuries, that he said this was a tough camp, but if you're going to be a physical team, you have to do that in camp. And then he said, and we explained why we do what we do to our players. And I think that's important in today's game, to say, look, we're going to do some live tackling, we're going to do this and that, and this particular day, take care of each other, don't hit late, don't hit down below the knee and stuff like that. And, I think they've done that for the most part. So hopefully these guys get healed up and the Razorbacks can be close to full strength when they really, for Texas next week for sure.
I want to go back to Treylon Burks real quick because, we went through a lot of injury stuff there. And any indication or what are you hearing on the severity of what he's dealing with?
I've heard some things, but not to the extent that I would write about them. I've been writing lower leg, and I know that there's been various reporting out there as to how he's been seen and things like that. So I just hope that, we're going to see a closer to healthy Treylon Burks starting next week.
And if he doesn't go, and we were talking about this earlier, I haven't heard one person say, yeah, he's going to play. Not one person we've interviewed this week, not one person I've heard on other shows has said, yeah, I believe Treylon Burks is going to play. So all indications are, if he does play, it will be very limited to begin with. But does that change? How much do you think that changes Kendall Briles' approach to this game in run versus pass? Or is this just, take a guy like John David White or someone that's not even on the two deep right now and give them a wide open opportunity to maybe earn some more playing time down the road? How do you think it's handled? Does it change the offense dramatically this week?
Yeah, exactly. And I do think that they have probably felt internally his status for this game for probably a couple of weeks, and then they've practiced and game planned that way. So I don't think he's going to catch them off guard at all with their planning. And Sam Pittman, I'll give him credit. It's a tightrope you have to walk in how much injury information you put out there, because he doesn't really want to talk about it. And he also doesn't want to be seen as not telling the truth to reporters. So, and as he says, the words you use and how you use them are a powerful thing. So I think he tries to be very delicate with the way he talks about injuries. But every between the lines things that you read into it is that Burks will not play. So what we've seen in what they call fastball starts is KJ building up more of a rapport with Tyson Morris and with Davion Warren and with Keytron Jackson. And so I think if they can get by this Rice game, win it, and then have some guys emerge who have not been top-of-the-line contributors, the guys I just mentioned. Warren has kind of played a secondary role to Burks or tertiary role to Burks and Woods last year. Well, get him back established if he's full go. Get the ball to Tyson Morris. They say Keytron Jackson's going to be a contributor. What if he blows up in week one? Then you've got another wideout playing with great confidence, and it's something that we all talked about in camp. They had to have a complimentary receiver to Treylon Burks. So I think in the long run, if Burks winds up being healthy, that establishing another one or two other guys who KJ Jefferson feels confident in delivering the ball to could wind up being helpful to the Razorbacks.
Yeah, and I think it's worth pointing out, Burks did miss a start at Auburn last year, and Arkansas had a better than usual chance to win that ball game. Now, I know you had Woods and you had Franks in the mix, and it's a different dynamic, but everyone was concerned about his absence last year at Auburn, and they overcame that and nearly won the football game, should have won the football game. So I don't think his absence against Rice, forecasts certain doom for this team this weekend.
No, I don't think so. And I think this coaching staff has proven with COVID, when they were without certain guys for certain games, that they were still a tough team to beat. Now, LSU, a couple things went against them. They didn't have the D linemen. Still had a chance to win the game. And then, Jalen Catalon gets ejected on a critical drive late in the game, and I still maintain that I just didn't think that was an ejectable penalty. But I think this coaching staff has proven that they can deal with personnel issues and put guys in the mix that give them a chance to win games.
Tom Murphy with us here on the Morning Rush. Tom, let's dive a little bit more into the Rice Owls. We've heard about Christian McCaffrey's younger brother, Luke McCaffrey, and kind of the quarterback dynamic that Coach Bloomgren was talking about earlier this week. What kind of challenges do they present, not just the Arkansas defense, but the Arkansas offense as well?
Yeah, they're just going to be tough. The more and more I heard about them, they do the things defensively like Arkansas, which means they're going to be bringing blitzes from different places. They're going to line up in different fronts. They're going to make the offensive linemen have to solve their blocking schemes on a play-to-play basis. They're going to make KJ Jefferson have to read those things. And when you're doing that, you're putting an extra step in the process for a guy who has limited starting experience. And on the other side of the ball, I think Arkansas's defense, they're going to be good at resetting the line of scrimmage back some, hopefully in games against like Rice. But it's a veteran offensive line they're going against, and they've employed West Coast offense principles that come from Mike Bloomgren and his background at Stanford with Marcus Tuiasosopo, the former Washington quarterback, who has learned a lot from Steve Sarkisian with all those shifts and motions, and then they just try to confuse your eyes. And we saw how successful that was with the talent Sarkisian had at Alabama last year. I'm not saying Rice has that type of talent, but you still have to deal with what those schemes and motions present to your defense. So it's critical that Jalen Catalon sees things, and they've got some weapons. They've got a 6'5" wideout. I think his name's Rosner, who's going to be a really tough matchup. They got a guy named Jordan Myers that plays running back, fullback, tight end, they can put him out unattached from the line and create other mismatches with Jordan Meyer. And they're going to try to run the ball and make third and shorts and just possess the ball. And so Sam Pittman said it last night. This is just the kind of team we needed to start with. Now, that might have been pep talk for his team, but I think coach speak is this is a tough game, and we've got to be able to win tough games. If we get into our SEC schedule, we're going to get tougher.
Tom, good stuff as always. So I'll see you on Saturday in Donald W. Reynolds Razorback Stadium.
Yep, sounds great. See y'all then.
All right.
It's that time of the year again, and all eyes are now turning to football as teams are back on the gridiron to start the football season. As always, BetOnline is your #1 spot for all of the pro and college football action this season. Get all of the updated odds, props, and contests, including the online's biggest $500,000 NFL mega contest, the world's largest 200,000 NFL Survivor contest, open now at BetOnline. Here's what you have to do. Head to the website or use your mobile device to sign up today and receive your 100% welcome bonus. Take advantage of their opening day super promo. Make a bet on the Thursday, September 9th season opener between the Super Bowl champion Tampa Bay Buccaneers and the Dallas Cowboys. And if you lose, your wager's going to be refunded for up to $25 for new customers only when signing up and using the promo code NFL100. BetOnline is the fastest and easiest way to bet on all your favorite sports. BetOnline, your online sportsbook experts.